Hello, my fellow advocates, and welcome back to the Fan Advocacy Network. Well, I promised at 10,000 subscribers that I would do a review on The Rising of the Shield Hero, and that is exactly what I am delivering. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's just jump right into it. This anime I would not have come across naturally. Kind of like Goblin Slayer, it was recommended to me by screeching, raging SJWs. Because SJWs, one of their fatal flaws is that they have to turn everything up to 11. It can't just be that this is an anime that they didn't like. No, this has to be the worst and most offensive anime that they've ever seen. So they big it up, they try to make it out to be the worst thing so that they can slay it, so that they can slay the mammoth. Now, unfortunately for them, people like me also observe what's going on and how they're telling tales of how they conquered this gigantic beast. Well, upon inspection, it was a mouse. They slayed a mouse. It was something that was relatively small and otherwise nobody would have ever cared or heard about it. That's the case here. This anime was great. It was fantastic. I had a great time watching it, but ultimately it really wasn't anything like what they said it would be. It wasn't this great monster. It was just this anime that told a really interesting story. So we've all seen the element of somebody being drawn into another world. There was Inuyasha, Dot Hack Sign, we've seen Log Horizon, Sword Art Online, Overlord, we've seen How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. It's endless. There are so many anime that have this premise. But the thing I liked about this anime is the fact that the main character was more relatable than any of those others, because his character was what I viewed as on par with a young man from today. And his story is one that you may be able to identify with. You have this guy entering into this new world. Somebody who's happy-go-lucky, somebody who's optimistic, somebody who's talking about potentially finding a future, finding a new wife, finding a place to live in this new world, saving it, relying on his friends, somebody with this hopeful, optimistic outlook. And then enter Mine. Now, Mine is a friendly, wonderful, giving person who befriends the shield hero and makes him extremely loyal to her. They train together, they level up together, they eat together. He promises that he's going to protect her. And she is very, very open with him. And she makes him feel like, yeah, I can do this. But it's all a lie. And so this hopeful, naive young man comes face to face with reality that this woman lied, and she lied for personal gain, and she was willing to destroy his life because it benefited her in the short term. She got the praise of this hero that she really liked, and for her it cost her nothing. She said that he raped her. She said that he tore her clothes off and was going to have his way with her. Now, feminists take great issue with this because they say it's making fun of women who are survivors, women who come forward. But I think it's doing something much more important. It's showing what happens when you listen and believe women. You're not just robbing a young man of his reputation and his ability to defend himself and his liberty and his self-respect. You're also destroying something precious within him. And you are starting him down a path that is rather cold. And that's what we see from this main character. Because in the first episode, after the events that take place here, Naofumi is changed forever. He is cold, distant. He's somebody who doesn't care anymore. He's somebody who is engaging in things that he wouldn't otherwise ever consider. Things that he would find abhorrent. But now he just doesn't care. Because the world views him a certain way, and people have proven that they're not trustworthy. And so this guy has fallen into the darkest, deepest pits of hell. He's not going to let it crush him, but he damn sure wants revenge. He damn sure has hatred in his heart. He wants these people to suffer, because they made him suffer. Do you understand that this is what feminism and this is what SJW does to good, decent people? That's why this is so important. When you accuse somebody, like what happened with Vic Mignogna, and sadly, there have been parallels here. When you accuse an innocent man of doing something egregious and wrong, and you use every label you can, because even if it doesn't apply, because it makes your point and you want to destroy this guy, the result is that you create somebody who was otherwise a gentle, nice guy. You start to make him turn a little bit harder. You start to make him think twice about interacting with people who he otherwise would have been friendly and open with. You make him callous and you make him cold. That's the effect of what these people do. They want to make other people as miserable and hateful as they are. And they will succeed because human beings, they have a great capacity for love. But if you continuously try to hurt them, they will go defensive very quick. And that is a sad reality, and this anime highlights that perfectly. Now, this anime also does something pretty amazing, and that is to show that even when you were in the darkest place, that you can receive a helping hand from somewhere that you didn't expect. So yes, Naofumi is desperate. He doesn't have anyone to fight for him. He can't trust anyone. What do you do when you can't have any weapons, you can't trust anyone around you, and it's you against the world? Well, you turn to somebody who offers you a helping hand in the form of slavery. Having beasts that are loyal to you and can't disobey you and can't lie to you, of course. But before that, before feminism, before SJWism, before that, this guy would never have considered this. But their actions have caused this guy to consider this because it's his only option. So now you have him picking out a slave. And he's cold and callous about it. And he says, slaves are no different from me upgrading my shield. They're not people. He's cold. You can see the damage these people have done to him. But when he takes Ralph Talia, it takes but a couple episodes for her to eventually wear down on his facade and his true nature to shine through. And they become friends. He doesn't treat her like a slave, does he? After a certain point. After a couple episodes. It's not very long. He starts to treat her more like somebody who's close to him because she continues to grow. She continues to level up. She doesn't treat him badly. She's somebody who is genuinely nice. And I think that is what can happen for a lot of people. They have a bad experience, but it's not the end of the world. It is terrible. And in the moment, it can feel like it's the worst thing in the world. But there can come along something or someone that makes you feel like life is worth living. And that's what this character discovers. And they become good friends. And he's willing to sacrifice his life for her. And she decides that she wants to save him, and they become a great team. And so this anime goes into some very deep themes, and I understand why SJWs don't like it, because it reveals the heartless and soulless nature of who and what they are, and what they do. And it reveals how their quest for virtue is pretty much the most immoral and despicable and evil thing that you will ever see. They're willing to go right through living tissue, right through human beings, to get to their conclusion of you're Nazi, you're evil, and I'm just for opposing you. Doesn't matter the fact that nothing that they say is true. Doesn't matter that there's not 1 ounce of truth in any of it. Doesn't matter that this guy didn't do any of these things. What matters is the importance of the issue, right? That's what they say every time one of these major sexual assault or rape cases turns out to be another lie. And most of the major ones are lies. They are lies. Jackie, Rolling Stone, Mattress Girl, they're all disgusting lies, and they're all for different reasons, because here's the dirty truth. Women lie about rape and sexual assault because they're human emotions. They have greed, jealousy, envy, lust. I mean, there are millions of reasons, because women are not some homogenous group of angelic people. They are human beings capable of amazing things and absolute atrocities. If you start to think that women should be listened and believed because they're women, well, then you've already lost. You have failed. And that's what this anime shows you. It's not making light of the situation. It's revealing how despicable the people who promote listen and believe are. And it also tells an interesting story in the meantime. The core of this anime is not to diminish women who come forward. It's to say that the people who have been accused deserve to be listened to. That's what I took from this. Now, you get into other characters like Philo, who is their animal sidekick, who is just awesome. I love Philo. She can transform into a little girl, and she's also a gigantic chicken, and it's fantastic. She's quite an entertaining character. She's got a very unique personality, which I think is really good. She has her own characteristics. She adds something to the show. It's a great addition, and it changes the pace, because Philo was introduced after the Shield Hero goes through somewhat of a metamorphosis when he unlocks his Curse Series shield, which is after he has a mental breakdown due to this princess yet again interfering, cheating, and trying to rally everyone against him. It's really quite terrible how bad this woman is. She's the worst. Did I mention she's the worst? I don't think so. I think I kind of made a joke about how great she is. No, she's just the most foul, repulsive person I've ever seen. But when it gets right down to it, the characters in the story, the people that they have introduced so far, it's all fantastic. And it all builds to this meeting that's going to happen when I watch the next episode of what this guy's going to do going forward to try to topple a kingdom that is now against him due to this lying bitch. I mean, frankly, personally, I think he should have killed her. I think he should have killed her a long time ago. But the main point of this anime, I think, is what I was mentioning. The fact that it goes into deeper themes It executes them brilliantly. It does it in a way that's visually very pleasing to look at. It's interesting. The concepts are all great. I had a great time watching this anime, and it really has become one of my favorites. And I don't think that it gets enough credit. And in fact, I know that some people have said, well, they're not going to give it any awards or anything like that. I think this deserves probably Anime of the Year, if I have to be honest, because I have not seen something that was this well done in a long time. Goblin Slayer I liked, but even Goblin Slayer wasn't even in the same league as The Rising of the Shield Hero. And there's so many parallels to what's going on today, like with Vic Mignogna, and it's a fantastic show. I hope they continue doing it. I hope they make it a couple seasons long and make some movies out of it. I think it definitely has legs to stand on because the foundation is there. And if they continue with the animation, if they continue with the story, if they continue making it a compelling, enthralling experience, I think this anime has a long life in it. And I hope to see that going forward. Now, that is my own interpretation. That's my own opinion. That's my own take on this anime. Some people may go, wow, you read way too much into this. It's possible, but I think that what I said is valid. I think that this has a lot of themes that it explores that make SJWs crazy because it exposes how terrible they are as people. And their prejudgment that, oh, you're terrible, you're evil, you're the shield hero, you're awful. Like when they go to the church and that nun tries to give him like the cheap holy water when he's trying to save his friend. It's like, that's what SJWs are, entirely. They want to judge you based on their own morals, but they don't have morals. They have absolutely no ability to judge right and wrong. They have no ability to analyze the situation. They are just religious cult members who regurgitate the same things that they've seen 1,000 times from other people and have no courage or bravery to stand up and do the right thing, which is why many people identify with the shield hero, because he's willing to say F this world. I'm willing to do what I have to do to get stronger, to train to get better, and I'm not going to accept this label that you put on me, this stigma that you put on me. I'm not what you claim I am, and I'm something much better, and I'm going to show you all. I respect the hell out of that attitude. I like this main character. He's fantastic. I hope they do more with this. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that's my review. That's my analysis on The Rising of the Shield Hero. This anime is definitely one that I would recommend to you, if for no other reason than you take a look at what can happen when you take a serious issue, like what's going on today, you make it relevant, and you add it into something that's fresh and unique and is an instant hit. Because for me, after the first episode, I was sold. I watched the entire thing, and in fact, I watched the entire thing in the English sub version, and then I went back and watched the whole thing in the English dub version to see if there were any differences, and I liked them both. I liked them both. So anyway, guys, I want to thank you genuinely for watching this review, for subscribing to my channel, to being part of the Fan Advocacy Network. I will continue to do my best to bring to light the terrible attitude and nature of these SJWs and how absolutely despicable they are and the damage that they do, the very, very real damage. These people think that they're untouchable, but the law is coming for them. We see that in the Vic Mignogna case. We are getting lawsuits from Jeremy Hambley suing that ridiculous Matt Fantastic. We're getting Richard Meyer suing Mark Wade, that detestable little weasel, little bald-headed ginger weirdo. We're getting him sued. The guy throwing temper tantrums, thinking he can tortiously interfere with the contract. We're getting people to be held to account, and that type of justice is satisfying. And the type of justice that you see in this show is satisfying as well. To watch the main character get more powerful than everyone else, to have them unable to contain him after they thought that they had crushed him. It's a beautiful thing to see. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this channel. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being part of this, and I will see you next time.